We just finished Relic of the Gods by Philip Quaintrell. This is the third book in the Echoes Saga. So it is the end of Trilogy 1. So his next book, the fourth one, starts up like a new storyline or whatever. So this is like the end of this trilogy. Exciting. We finished it. We did it.
Yeah, it was
1, 2,
great.
3.
It was the first trilogy was, and I've heard that it just continues to get better. Mary Kate
And we
said
started
that
off on a high, so
she really likes the next one. She was like, Fall of the Neverdark is incredible.
Yeah.
Paraphrase.
I downloaded it so we could start reading it, and then we have other obligations and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, I am excited for the obligations.
You're like,
but I want to read
that's
more
crazy.
Echoes.
How did we get here?
What happened? Anyway, so our cover here
is amazing. Best boy right there. Gideon and Alargo, best boy. The cover is super cool. Makes Alargo look massive. Love to see the sword that Gideon's carrying, which also blanking on the name of. But
it's interesting because they make him seem so small, the dragon, because of how big the other dragons are, but he's still a big boy.
Yeah, I don't think I had like understanding of the size until I looked at the cover and was like, that's a large dragon. Also, I've got a visitor for the video.
Alargo too?
This is my Alargo. Now we ride. Yeah, cool cover. I ordered what Broken Binding set did I order? The first 3 of Echoes,
So we
right?
ordered the first 3 of Echo Saga.
So in 8
and then
years,
we may or may not have done
we'll see
Time of
those.
Dragons. What'd you say?
So in 8 years, we'll see those because they're having some shipping printing issues right now.
I think that they weren't coming out until end of summer anyway, if I remember correctly.
Oh. Yeah, Time of Dragons, we ordered that too.
So.
I want to read Time of Dragons.
I didn't order that one yet because I couldn't remember if there were other, straight up butthole in the camera.
Just push the microphone away. It's like, get over it.
That you've done enough talking today. Anyway, I don't think we ordered it because we were sure if there was just that one version or what. I don't know. We talked about it.
We talked
spent
ourselves
a lot of
out
money.
of it.
Yeah.
But we did order the first 3 of Echoes.
Probably did.
All right.
Any Ozer.
Jumping right in. Character development. How we feeling? How you feeling?
How do I feel? I like all these characters, right? So I feel like we got a lot of our main group, right? So we got a lot of Nathaniel, Reyna, Asher, like that core group in all the books. Except for this last book, I feel like our main side characters, right? Like Reyna and Nathaniel. They're not side characters, but like they're not Asher, who I consider like the main, which doesn't make sense because everybody. Anyway, those 2, I feel like they kind of fell by the wayside a little bit, and I liked them. But I feel like I would have liked to see more of our main friend from book 2 as well. Our Assassin's Creed man, the leader of the White Owls.
Yeah. Son of None, Torin.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like we got some good closure on some characters, especially, and this is obviously spoiler territory now. I feel like Asher's arc was complete. I don't know if we could have gotten anything else out of him. I think he was a really well-written and well-rounded character. It's hard with these immortal characters because they're immortal. So they're not going to change all that much in the small span. But we did get some change in all the books are blending together, and I have a hard time.
Yeah. And we took like a 2-week break.
Died. Yeah. More than
for filming.
Yeah. Because he had some development. It was small, but it was like calculable and worth noting.
Yeah.
And then obviously like the elves that were there over a long time, they're like, all right, like these humans aren't so bad. Like we gotta not nuke them.
It's not so bad. Yeah. I have the same feelings as you in that, like, I don't know how I feel about character development because it was good, but like, you know what? I'm kind of thinking that it's like a bookend to the character development for this trilogy. Like we didn't get anything crazy that happened, but I don't know that like what more we needed in the context of like this first trilogy. That's like the first like story arc. So
yeah,
I don't know that I needed more. Like, I don't know. It's tough to say. Need is subjective because I could have seen more like emotional moments with, like Asher. I don't know. We got some good development with Reyna. We had the moments of Reyna like coming to realize who she is and like what place she wants to have in the future. And we got emotional moments with Nathaniel and his girl wife friend.
Nathaniel and Reyna?
Wait, which was the older elf?
Adelandra?
Yeah. No, Reyna's handler. Phelan.
Oh,
we got some good. I liked Phelan's like coming into her own and trying to understand like where she's going to be, like what she wants to be in the future. And then I liked the moments with Nathaniel and Reyna. So
I liked the Asher Phelan thing that you could see happening, like the slow burn that never got to happen. That made me a little emotional. don't say.
Made you sad? You yearned for the burn?
I yearn for the slow burn. I hate when books are like, oh, this is a slow burn. In like chapter 11, they're like
They're doing it.
banging on the
And you're
table.
like,
I'm like,
that's not
bro.
slow. That's just burn.
I guess our definition of slow is different.
But I think
But anyway,
I give it a 1. I don't think
Yeah.
I feel my vibe here is that it's a 1. I could probably be nitpicky and lower it because of like we could have used more, but we got good development over the course of this first like story arc, so I'm feeling like a 1.
so I almost gave it a 0.75 for that same thing because I'm like, I feel like I wanted more, but I feel like I'm just arguing against giving it a full point to be critiquey and be those people. I enjoyed the character development that we got. I enjoyed it. This is one of those series that it kept going and there wasn't a POV switch that I was like, darn, now we're
Yeah.
at this character.
True.
So I'm giving it the dub. Giving it the 1.
Same. It got the dubs for me.
How did you feel about originality and creativity?
Basically, no notes.
Not even one note.
It was good. I enjoyed it. Continued to build on. This isn't necessarily for this category. I could have used a little more lore in this one, but as far as like
Really?
this overall story, yeah, as far as the overall story goes, it was great.
So this is just a talking point, I guess. This whole series I have said so far has like, just as an example, I was saying in the first 2 books and reviews, this has Lord of the Ring vibes in terms of like it feels old fantasy, but written modern.
Yeah.
And
like the style of
not
fantasy is
high
sentimental.
fantasy, but taken down to regular fantasy, right? So we've taken it down to a different genre and taken something old and modernized, right? But this book specifically is Lord of the Rings. From a couple of things that they
This
said.
is literally Return of the King. That's crazy.
It's Fellowship. Because there's a couple of times, and I highlighted it, it's, I don't remember who said this, but just the highlight says, it should be you who rids Verda of this threat. No Dragoran as young or inexperienced as you has ever given such a perilous task. Then it says later on, way later in the book, it says, then it is decided, Raina announced, we 7 will travel to Caliban. I'm like, the Fellowship of the Ring is going to Mordor.
See,
and I'm Mount Doom.
I see that as Fellowship, but when you said Lord of the Rings, I immediately just thought about all the battles happening in. I was like, wait a minute, that's like half this book.
I have another point. Asher had wondered whether Tagarn might fare better, but seeing his hand held out before him left the ranger with an uneasy feeling. The idea of handing over Peldora's gem over to anyone felt wrong. Frodo not wanting to give the ring to anybody else to hold, I'm like,
Dang.
we are pulling these points straight from one.
On another note, I loved it when he threw it at the king.
Yeah, that was good. I just thought, I don't know, I thought it was interesting. All these like ties. And I didn't highlight anything else because I was just enjoying it. But every time there was a Lord of the Rings thing there, I was like, hey! But all that to say is, the story overall, even though it pulled vibes and seemingly things from Lord of the Rings, it did feel still very, it felt original. It still feels like its own thing.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed.
Same.
I had a charge over here. No. Ripskis. Anyway, we both gave it a 1 there. Engaging storyline.
Same as last category. The story was just great. I loved being in this world, being in Verda is great. I want to keep reading. I could go binge it all right now.
Yeah. I'm not docking any points or anything. I'm just saying, I feel like this is one of those series so far where I know it's the trilogy's ended, but I feel like so many people of the realm went to battle. Most people of fighting age have to be dead, right? Like, everybody out of all these cities was battling. So I feel like everybody should be close to dead, and we're going to have to kind of like restart.
They're all dead.
Think that. They're like, and our whole, all of our allies from all of our places all got together and they get wiped out. I'm like, so nobody's alive but the women and children and elderly? Like,
whole lost generation
that always
thing
pops
going
in my
on.
head. I'm like, do we keep a couple people back for like
Noah's Ark?
Yeah. That's just my brain does that. I don't know why. But anyway, I really enjoyed the story. I think it was a good wrap up while still being like having so much room in the world and lore to like have other stuff go on that I'm excited to see. But just talking about this book as a whole.
Samesies.
Enjoyed it all. Yeah, that's a point. A point for me.
The story end and wrap up.
I liked it a lot. I like when we get a main character who dies. I love death.
I was actually going to say I needed more
that-
main characters to die, but that's not.
I definitely agree. Like, it would have been nice to see. But having our main character, our main moody Strider, a Lone Ranger. Come on. die for the sake of everybody else. I thought that was really good. I really don't I want to say more just to like talk about the book, but I'm just like I feel satisfied. And I know that's like the whole point of it. Like
I have a
it
point.
feels wrapped up for me.
I gave it a 1 here, but I wanted this could be this could be a vibe either way. I could see it being a positive vibe or a negative vibe. I wanted something to hook me into the next arc, but I think it could be a positive that this arc is like a standalone, and like you finish the first trilogy, and if like you're looking for a break, or if you're looking to not like read 9 books in a row, like you can take a break, right? So I have no problem with it like ending without any sort of cliffhangers. But also I was like, what exciting thing is going to draw me into the next book? But there wasn't much.
I think I like you said, positive or negative. I think I like that because if we wanted to stop here, it's almost kind of like Red Rising. You can stop after the first 3, and it's a completed story, and
Yeah,
you're like,
if you're
wow,
a
that was
pixie.
good. But there's more. If you are just a flat out pixie, then you just stop there. If you're not reader enough,
We're not reader enough for the reader club.
I mean, it is. If you look at it, I mean, it's what 9 books for Echoes Saga.
Yeah, it was good. I gave it a whole point here. That's not like I'm not nitpicking, like taking a point off. I just was like,
Innovation to point out.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a point for both of us. World building and the setting.
Which one of us should go first? I think we both had different slight amounts of beef with this.
I will let you go first. I'm kind of like that.
This is like maybe more of this is maybe thematically appropriate, but I kind of wanted more lore dumps because I felt like the first 2 books did a really good job of building this like past and present situation that got me excited for Time of Dragons, that I was like, wait, there's so much happening in the past that we don't understand and that we're like learning about. And it was like mind blowing that the elves were created by the humans. And I was like, I want to know more about like the magic system is crazy, but also not like it was fleshed out for the people in present day, but I wanted to know more about like how the human kings got to where they were as like gods, right? Like these all powerful magic users, like wizards.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know more. I wanted more lore dumps. I needed a big juicy lore dump because the book 2 lore
Book
dump
2 had some
it was good soup. I was
lore dumps.
I was eating good with the book 2 lore dump. So like it's a discussion could be made here either way about like, did we need more lore? Am I just looking for more in a situation where it was already like fleshed out? But I gave it a half point here because I wanted more world building, because this one was like all fighting and all like resolution, which is great. But also like the other 2 books did a really good job balancing building out the world as well as the plot.
See your point? So you get a half point. I'm giving it a half point as well. I didn't have an issue with not having as many lore. I feel like we got enough lore in this one to where it makes sense where, yeah, we want more. And we're fortunate enough to like know that there's a lot more books out there for us to get. Which I think eases the pain a little bit on it. But I really, reading the book, I was like, wow, I want to know more about that. But I wasn't like, why aren't we getting more? I think my issue was I felt like the power scaling kind of was all over the place. Like we would have our elf, Aladir,
Eldir,
Aladir,
Eldir.
would be super powerful and do all these crazy things, and then would just get
Bodied.
like bamboozled by these meddling kids. Or Asher was just doing this crazy stuff in Reyna and like killing the other one, and then they're just getting taken out by like nothing.
Yeah.
And then they're all injured, and something I don't really like is when we're injured and they're barely clinging to life, but somehow he pulled through and kept going. I felt like that happened a lot during that fight. Because I think my problem book 2 was the healing didn't really make sense to me. And I feel like that
That's
kind of
right.
carried over in this one. To where I was like, I understand the magic, but there doesn't seem to be set rules from what I understand about like, I know they like can recharge and like meditate and like everything like that, but it didn't seem like there was a limit because they just kept going past the limit. So
Yeah.
there isn't really a limit.
I think we have like some of the same beef here in that the magic needed to be more fleshed out to better assist the plot. Like yours is from the angle of like the magic felt inconsistent, and mine is of like I need to know more about the magic, but I feel like we just needed to understand more about like what the limitations are of the magic, right? Like, can it do anything? Like at the end when he makes Nathaniel long-lived, semi-immortal, whatever he did to him, like what could any of
That was an option?
yeah, like, and like that like he did it using the pools of Nias and Paldora's gem, implying that Nias, Paldora, Adeline could have just made people immortal as they chose, which maybe they could because they made the elves. So like, but they also, their biggest problem was they couldn't make themselves immortal. So
Well, also piggybacking off that though, it was just showing that Asher did what the gods could not do, right? They were trying to make themselves and their friends and everything immortal and couldn't, so they made like a new race on accident. And then he just bippity boppity. I'm not
Boppity
very good with
gave him the
magic.
immortal oppity.
What? You're gonna live forever now?
Yeah,
Sugar, spice, and the rest of your life.
that was clever.
So, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, it just felt inconsistent.
We needed more. We needed to understand the magic more. It was both
I need safe boundaries.
It's true. Same. I need restrictions.
But even if like someone blows past, like, and that's like their final thing, or it's like a one-time thing, then like whatever. But I feel like we were constantly like, oh, I don't have any more. We need more. I can do it.
Yeah.
Like very anime-esque. But anyway, half point, all that to say. Pacing and structure, I did not have a problem here. I felt that it was good. I feel like this was a culmination of the first two books. Like we were leading up to a battle. For it not to be a big battle, I feel like would have been kind of a disservice, in my opinion. IMO.
Yeah, I wasn't ever bored, so I don't think I'm marking this one down. I just did feel like the fighting went on for a little while, but I don't think that I had like an issue with the pacing, right? Like it wasn't like it's so slow, but the fighting, it felt like half of the book was the Velia fight. But like you said, it was kind of building up to that.
Kind of like when they were fighting at Minas Tirith, and then the light of the third day, everybody came by. The elves came by and helped win the war.
What you're telling me is he suddenly has become Tolkien.
You shall not.
You shall
copyright.
pass.
Anyway, yeah, I felt 1 in that category.
Yeah, I give it 1 too. Emotional impact? Or did you have more to say about pacing and structure?
No, I was just gonna say emotional impact was 1 for me. I feel like I want to talk about more with this, but I just feel like I was satisfied with how it ended. We already talked about the Asher sacrifice, how I felt about like Phelan and Asher not getting to like have their moment, and then you get Nathaniel and Raina at the end.
For how chunky and big these books and how long the series is, it's definitely on the simpler side, which is fine. Like you said, it's not high fantasy. It's brought down to like a regular fantasy level. And so, but it's a really interesting line that it toes in that like it has a lot of high fantasy elements. So I think at times I'm looking for other high fantasy things like massive lore dumps and like these really like emotionally charged moments that like span a really long time. But like we got the sacrifice and the wedding, and we got good character development, like emotional character development. So I don't actually have any complaints or points to mark off here, but it did feel simple, right? Like it didn't feel like super duper emotionally in depth, or sorry, emotionally complex.
I feel like we could have used more character death. I think that would have like been appropriate and not just killing people to kill people. I mean, he killed the drunk knight, but I didn't feel or care anything.
That's right.
About that.
Same.
I feel like a big hype Gideon moments. Anytime he was like on the screen, I'm like, do the thing. Do the roar.
Do the roar. Right. Gideon was my favorite.
Roar.
I wanted more Gideon at basically all moments of the book. I was like, everything was good, but I was like, I could read about Gideon for the whole book.
When we first started this series, I was so thrown off anytime he was on screen because we just finished Gideon the Ninth.
That's right.
Who was a necromancer woman. And this is, a magic using male. So anytime they like came on, my brain had to like really shift gears to like
this is not
make
Griddle.
that connection.
Yeah.
Not what?
Griddle, the Gideon's nickname in Gideon the Ninth.
Oh yeah.
My
brain is
having
dumb.
to explain your book references to plebeians.
Maybe one day I'll learn how to read and write.
Yeah, I put Rip Asher Yay Wedding in my notes for this one.
I mean, what else do you need?
Yeah, that about sums up my emotions. Rip, yay.
Yay, Rip.
Writing style and prose, fantastic. When you lock in, when you sit down and read on this book, it's like, whoa, it's been 3 hours and I've read 300 pages. Where have I been?
So well.
Yeah, it does. It really do.
This has been one of those series in books where I feel like we haven't had one where I'm like late night reading and like I don't want to put it down. Like, all right, I'll just do a chapter before bed. This is one of those where I'm like, all right, I'll actually, because I don't really read at night.
Yeah.
So like, I'm going to read a chapter or two before I go to bed and in bed. So easy one. Good job.
Phil did the thing. He did the roar.
Julie, do the thing.
Do the thing. Yeah, it was good. Digestible. 1 point.
Digestible. Oh.
The meaningful themes in depth. Another one that's like simple but good, right? Like we got a lot of there were a lot of themes over this trilogy surrounding the nature of man and like better than and less than. and defined by your actions versus your like power, the common man be like mattering to the grand scheme of things. There were a lot of those kinds of themes, and I thought they were good. Nothing was like earth-shatteringly complex, but it was good.
Yeah, you had some good ones too with like kind of like identity crisis or what do you do when your identity is like you're not who you thought you were at all. Like when the elves are like, hey, by the way, people created you. And you're not the higher beings technically.
Yeah,
Yeah, I gave it a one. I put Lord of the Rings, but yes, otherwise simple. I
Lord of the
put that in like
Rings.
all my note parts. Lord of the Rings. When I wrote my notes, I was just like, this is I've seen this before.
Where have I seen this before? Yeah, I don't
You
have
do.
anything else to say about the themes in depth. I gave it a point.
Themes were depthful.
They were depthful.
Rereadability and lasting impact. I want more.
Yeah, I gave it a half point. I want to read more, but the lasting impact, like I said, this one it lacked some of the same star power that books 1 and 2 had. Like the
Yes,
ending and the lore, it just didn't have the same oomph for me. Like
yeah,
I'll remember, you know what, my brain will probably remember books 1, 2, and 3 as a completed story. But if
I think so too. And if we're just rating this book by itself, I think it was the least impactful, like memory wise. Like the first two, I was just like, this is a banger. Not that this one wasn't. It just was. It was a soft close to the series. Is that what I want to say? No, I don't know what I want to say. I felt like it compared to the other two. Those other two are more in my brain in terms of lasting impact.
Yeah, so I didn't give it a point for lasting impact, but I gave it a point for rereadability, and that like I want to continue reading in this world. Verda, I need more Verda.
So we gave this book a big ol' 9 out of 10. That is almost all of them. Yeah. Overall, I think this series could easily just be described as a 9 out of 10. You know, would I say it was a perfect series? No, but it was like way high up on there for me in terms of it was a very, very fresh series. For being a fantasy series, when you have a lot like you have dragons and you know things like that, you have a lot of like it's hard not to cross over with things. I feel like this was well done. Like I said before, a modernization of old fantasy.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
It's easy to like it's an easy recommendation, and it's an easy one that like, oh, anybody who reads this will like it, right? It's like there's no issues with this that'll make someone be like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those that's it could be for everybody. Not that it is like
Lengthwise
YA at all, but I feel like you could even recommend this to somebody like newer ish, like upper teens, like trying to like figure out something to read. I feel like this is really this is for everyone. Your cat.
it checks all the boxes. Yeah, she's been chilling.
But anyway, that wraps up the first part of the Echoes Saga, part 1 of 3, books 1 through 3 of Echoes Saga. The next part of the series is called Echoes of the Lost.
Ooh.
So
I know
excited
nothing
to dive
about
into that.
but I'm also excited to dive into it.
Sweet.
I want
That
to
was
read it all and also read Time of Dragons and also read the Ranger Archives. Deep download
the good news
into
is that's
my
the
brain.
plan.
Directly imported.
Neuralink.
But yeah.
Thank you very much for watching.
We got
That was
other
Relic
fun
of the
stuff coming up,
Gods.
so stick around. See what we're doing. See what we're up to.
What are we doing next? What do we got upcoming? Do we got anything on the docket? We got Parade of Horribles next.
We do, yeah. We're both. I've already read it, but I'm re-listening to it, and we're both pretty much done with our listen.
I have 25 minutes left.
That's crazy. Why are you here? Why are you not? My cat is pushing the microphone away again. Why are you here, and why are you not filming? Or sorry, listening and finishing it?
Because I wanted to talk to all of our friends here, our RSQers.
All of our RSQ furry
in
friends.
Dakota. He's smiling really. Are you like that?
Hi,
He's having a good time.
Don't
he goes,
you put
Dad, are you done with your video so you can love me? But yeah, Parade of Horribles is next. And then we have so many other things on the docket. I'm like 50% through of like 3 other books. So
yeah, we got some fun
super
stuff
pumped.
coming up. So stick around and see what we do.
See what we do. And how we do it. All right. I don't know what else to say. I got no outro.
The video is over. We love you all. Keep reading and keep watching our videos. RSQ.
Wow.